Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Jesse.
This is Brian from Metalhead Alliance.
We're here with Nature from the Mongolian folk metal band TENGGER CAVALRY. Thanks so much for joining us today, Nature. So Brian's going to start off the interview. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee. Go ahead, Brian.
And the first question, most bands' subject matter or lyrics are centered around relationships, drug problems, social problems, and angst. But your songs are more history-based. What led you in that direction?
Well, I guess it's more because of the music perspective. It has so many crossover with like the traditional folk perspective. So, you tend to sing more about, the nomadic culture, the tradition. But actually in our latest album, Die on My Right, that one is actually relates to more about modern topic like, racial discrimination, freedom, individual choice. That's our new album's topic. So it's kind of like, we
got kind of a crossover.
I kind of feel good about writing also like really modern topic with the traditional music because, folk music is for people, it's the Asian people write for their life and, it's all about life, in different times. But I do believe, it doesn't matter how time changes, like the music is always about humans' emotion, how we perceive the world. So I guess, it really doesn't matter too much to me about is even modern time or like Asian time, I guess, for now. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, next question. When I was Googling and doing a little bit of homework on you guys, they said you started out at Carnegie Hall in October of 2015.
Yeah.
How was that starting at such a historic venue? Because, I mean, most bands are really lucky if they ever get to play Carnegie Hall. I mean, how was that as far as a starting point for you guys?
I mean, Carnegie Hall is like you said, it's mostly for classical musician, jazz musician. They don't usually have like a loud metal band doing an acoustic concert there. Right. So the idea came to me, before, like a few months before the gig. I was like, why do something different, to like make something, more revolutionary. Okay. And it's like, in order to book the venue, you gotta contact Carnegie Hall and send them your music. Right. They have to approve it. It's not like like a random band can come play. And surprisingly, they actually approved. We were being a little bit smarter. Like we didn't send it like a noisy.
Yeah, a little bit more.
I don't want to. Yeah, because those people who work there, they have this perception about like what is rock music, what is metal, what is classic music, like the fancy music. So I was being a little smart. We sent in a bunch of like acoustic tracks, only acoustic tracks, and then so I sort of just like, let them ignore the like heavy part, and that actually worked out good. So we actually ended up playing like a folk set.
Okay. And my last question at the beginning is, one of the most interesting aspects of your band's sound is a traditional Mongolian tafshir, I believe is how it's pronounced, accompaniment of the Mongolian throat singing. Has this been present with you guys from the very first album, or when did you, what brought you in that direction, actually working that into the rest of the music?
Well, it was almost like 7 years ago since I started to do like Mongolian throat singing and horsehead fiddle. So I guess just back in the days, I was listening to a bunch of like Western metal, and like they have like the Celtic metal in it and like Viking metal. So I was like, Oriental metal might be fun because since nobody's really doing it. So that's how it started. The throat singing, the horsehead fiddle is very rhythmic, it's very masculine. So it fit with the metal's power and like the aggression. Yeah. So I was like, what, let's have some fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that all you got? Cool. So,
I've got more at the end.
Okay, cool. The new album, Die on My Ride, just came out a couple weeks ago, I think now.
Yeah, June 2nd.
So getting a lot of good, positive feedback. I personally like it. I think you guys should check it out too.
Appreciate it too. It's
really
good.
Fantastic stuff. Do you have any personal feedback about the record yourself? Both good and bad?
That's a good question. This album does have a lot of like different things than compared to the usual album, because it's like, like you said, we used to have like this typical folk with metal, like talk about history, tradition. So this one, I sort of just try to avoid that. I was trying to focus on as a person's life. It doesn't matter like what color you're white, black, Asian. Like this album is for every human being. So that's what's my idea of the album. Like it talks about life struggle. That's literally what it's about. As an individual, as a human being. So I guess because of that, the music is more free, a little bit more out of the traditional like area, like the traditional folk part. And I thought that people might feel a little bit weird about that because since like all the past albums are like that, but actually it turns out that people, at least our fans so far, they was like, wow, it's like a little bit different, but we still
More relatable,
get it. Yeah, we still can get it, and like it's like it's not like something completely different. Like we are starting doing gothic metal or something, or industrial metal. It's like still
theme is
folk metal.
Different, but the sound and all that, just the theme's a little bit different.
Right. So I mean, so far so good, I guess. I mean, there's one track called Ashley. It's like a completely like pop track that some people feel
the
like.
one with your auto-tuning kind of vocals, that one?
Yeah. I actually did that on purpose. Like, you know what? Let me do some auto tune. It'll be fun.
And it fits. Like it fits really.
I mean, it pissed off some people on YouTube, but most people like it, and I expect that. Come on, like auto tune. Everybody hates it, so that's what I did.
It's not the difference between using it all the time and every once in a while.
Yeah,
I mean, so many bands are stuck in the all the time.
Right.
If you do it one time,
right.
No harm, no foul. So
right. No, that's true because I only use the auto tune a little bit at the chorus. That's it. I don't want to use the verse because if you use the verse, that's kind of shitty.
Right. It just adds a little extra element to it, which I think is pretty unique. Yeah. So the band itself, TENGGER CAVALRY, as I understand, it's named after an ancient Mongolian and Turkish deity, right?
The sky god.
The Tengri, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about this figure and how important the sky god is in the band itself. Is it like a big driving force behind it, or?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when I just created the band, I was really dedicated to this idea of like, singing for the sky, about nature, the shamanism.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like, it kind of evolved, the idea just evolved. It's more like, it's about the creator of this earth. It doesn't matter what religion you're from. It's like sky, we all live underneath the mother sky. When, we need nature, we need all this natural product. We try to live a balanced life with the environment around us. So I guess it sort of just evolved into a bigger idea of we sing for the nature. We write about the nature and we write about the relationship between us and universe. So it's more become vague and so everybody can relate to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense a lot. You're living up to your name. I mean, nature's.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
I looked you guys up. Wikipedia. You can't go by Wikipedia for everything, because anybody can add stuff to it.
But people still check them out all the time.
But we still check it out, and there's actually something here I wanted to ask you about, because according to the band's Wikipedia page, the first international review of your debut demo album, which is Blood Sacrifice Shaman,
that is true,
by it was a German heavy metal magazine, Legacy.
Yeah, and that's also true.
Okay, so they said that, or the magazine itself, they were quote unquote cautiously optimistic about the band's potential. Why do you think that is? What?
I think it's just back in the day, the demo is kind of like really raw. So when somebody like, I forgot how they got this demo. Like when they got it, it feels like it's a little bit too raw, but we got the idea. So I guess that's how they give the comment.
Potential there, but they were like,
yeah, but still, there's some composition problem. There's like still a lot to improve, which is totally right. We're still improving. So I guess that's where it came from. Yeah.
Interesting. So there's some truth, at least for this Wikipedia thing.
Yeah, I mean, I checked the Wikipedia. Most of the thing on it is like correct.
Yeah.
Because when we released biography, it's mostly just that's the perspective. So
very cool. Very cool. You guys did a cover of Megadeth's Symphony of Destruction, which actually did get noticed and retweeted by Dave Mustaine himself. Which is pretty cool. When the people that you try to pay tribute to actually take notice of that.
I found it out.
Which is, I mean, it's cool that he did see it. However, he did. You guys have any plans of some more classic metal cover songs in the future? Or?
Well, I guess not for a while because we covered so many songs already. Like with the Metallic song, the Pantera, Painkiller. We even covered Oasis. And
wow.
Yeah, like what's that Oasis? Wonderwall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people actually, a lot of fans said, "Oh, I fucking hate this band," but after your cover, I might try to check them out because you made it sound interesting. I'm like, all right, I appreciate that. I mean, I like Oasis personally. That's why we covered it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like we did a lot of covers. So
Excellent.
yeah.
It was really good. I watched it on YouTube again today, and I was like, "This is great."
Oh, the Megadeth one. Yeah, it was
Just
fun. Yeah.
It was great.
I mean, that song has so many like space for you to like improvise because like jing 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 jing, and then there's all like the empty space that you can fill in folk instruments. So I was like, yeah, you can actually take advantage of the simple riff and do something on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got two last questions, and one of them, and this is another one from Wikipedia also, but it was, you were quoted as the whole time growing up being a huge fan of Slipknot, and your family thought you were more horror-based than you were actually music-based. But besides Slipknot, who would be your other major musical influences as a band? And
Ooh. I mean,
what pours into your sound? What's the main ones that?
I mean, like, if you talk about the early days, it's definitely
Early days are all the way through present. I mean, who are your biggest influences that?
I guess nowadays it's all kinds of music genre. Like for now, I listen to like different folk music, like Viking folk, Celtic folk, so many different folk music, and like world music. And also like some pop, some punk. So I guess.
Well, I mean, like even myself. I mean, the last band I covered was female-fronted. I'm drawing a blank here.
Roses Unread.
No, not Roses Unread.
I know what you're talking about. I'll think about it in a second. Keep talking. I'll think about it in a second.
But I mean, I've covered all kinds of music because I mean, there's so many different influences, and I can see them being metal, and Icon for Hire was the name of the band. And I mean, I can see metal.
Icon for Fire. I fucking love that band.
I love
that
there,
band.
and I can see a little bit of rap. I can also see just they're kind of all over the board. When they play, and I mean that's why I was wondering. I mean, how many different aspects you take into your music?
Oh, a lot. Like especially this new album, like Icon for Fire, definitely they influenced me somehow. It's like like this. I discovered that band from the song. What's that song? Like not Get Well, the song before Get Well. They have a music video.
About,
they're painting like down the wall.
Can hear me, or
damn.
Something to that extent.
I haven't listened to him.
Hear Me Now, or something like that.
The second track of the album, the third track,
I know what you're talking about. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good band. So like, my influence like kind of really big now, like from Icon for Fire to Avril Lavigne to Celtic music to like African tribal music, because in this new album we have all kinds of stuff together.
So you're reaching out to everybody.
Oh
There's not one.
I listen to so many music. Like I think the least music I listen to now is metal. Like I listen to so many different for like pop rock, female rock band, and like film music sometimes. I like film soundtrack too. So I guess
And my last question for you is, when I was doing my homework on you, you were quoted as getting a music composition master's from NYU, and you said that, or you were quoted as, before you picked New York, you thought New York would be easier to adapt than Europe. I mean, how does that set you apart from other musicians? Because other musicians know their music, but if you've got the whole music composition masters, I mean, how do you feel that sets you apart from other bands?
You mean Europe compared to America?
Well,
I mean, in terms of like just having that education, right?
Right, just on the education level. I mean,
that's pretty important, I think.
There are so many bands that are good at what they do, but when they're putting together their music, their layout is just kind of all over the place as far as actually studying and having a full degree. I mean,
I think like taking this like class is like really important because they taught me so much about music theory and orchestration and stuff. So I think it kind of give you idea when you try to layer different stuff on top of it. You know, when you try to write something super complicated, you know, you can actually arrange different stuff using the theory you learned from school.
Right.
But I mean, you can't just use that as like the only rule, or okay, well, I
Right.
gotta do this. They're like, you know, I think it all depends on how you use it, but broaden your toolbox is never a bad thing. And I
Right.
never regret on taking that film music degree. Yeah.
Because I guess also as a photographer, which I'm also more on that side, you know, I've actually taken art history, you know, and learned kind of what the rule is, and then you know when to go with the rule and when to break the rule. So I guess that's kind of the same with your music theory, you know, that you could know when it's time to go with traditional and then when to break the rules. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, it just like give you a direction. Whenever you lost into some writing process, you can refer to something. You know, you can. It's a way of thinking that helps you somehow. But I guess a big problem of learning the music theory is you might be, you know, limited by it. If you try to study too hard and you judge everything according to the theory, that's like when the songwriter goes into the wrong corner.
Right.
Like, from my perspective, like you try to analyze everything with the thing that you learn about that theory, and then you like once you know people don't write stuff like that, you feel insecure. I think that's like a big problem for songwriters to try to how you balance this really powerful tool while not being limited by it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time and
man. Thanks for the
are
interview.
looking forward to a good show with you guys.
Yeah,
tonight.
this show's tonight. Of course, people that are watching this now, how many days left are on the tour?
About a week.
So you guys have time. If you're watching this video now, visit TENGGER CAVALRY on their Facebook page to see the rest of their dates. Everybody, nature.
All right, man.
I'm Jesse. This is Brian. You guys have been watching Metalhead Alliance. Thanks again so much,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Cool.
Look forward to a great show.
Yeah.
Thank you.